Hi everyone, Vickieverlie here. I'm going to do a quick video. I may have made this video years ago, but I'm going to do it again for this year that we're in now of 2023, this calendar year. So there's a way to do numerology where you add up. We'll get to how you do it with your birthday, but for the overall collective, this is 2023. So you do plus, plus, plus. So 2 plus 0 is 2, plus 2 is 4, plus 3 equals 7. So we come up with a 7, and in the major arcana, this is the card of the Chariot. So this is rising above, being victorious, things finally starting to move forward. We've got a lot of things moving into air, planetary-wise, and this guy with his helmet, he always reminds me of a spaceman. So there could be some, some more space, NASA or different, space discoveries or missions to Mars or something along those lines. I'm going to read I just pulled up Wikipedia so we can get the numbers real quick, their little thing, and then I'm going to read my keywords. And then I'm going to show you how to do it with your birthday to make it your year, get your personal year number, and then we'll go through and read all of them. But on my card, for the keywords for Chariot, I wrote achievement, passage, roll, rise, chariot, and evolution. This is my rock and roll tarot deck, by the way, I'm going to look at. Now, Wikipedia for the Chariot, what does it say here? That would be number 7. Yeah, it says triumphant, dissension, the Chariot of Osiris. Osiris. Can't even speak. Worth is the Chariot. I'm not sure what all the other stuff means. I don't use those technological other things. But anyway, so yeah, triumph, victory, getting over this whole hump that we've all been in. Okay, now let's move on how to do it with your year. I'm just going to say that your year is 7. You were born in 7/7. It doesn't matter what year you were born, because instead of putting your own year, you're going to put 2023. Now there's discrepancy on how to do this. This is one way, but you could also do it from your last birthday. So if that were the case, if you were born on 7/7, you would go to your last birthday, 7/7/2022, and that would start the cycle. I hope you guys are following. But just for this demonstration purposes, we're going to go with this 2023 here. Okay, so then I'm going to use a calculator, but we're going to add, turn it on, 7 plus 7 plus 2 plus, we can add the 0, I'm just skipping it, and then another 2 and 3. So that comes up to 21. Now that's interesting. We've got 21, and then of course it'll reduce down to a 3. So in this case, you would do both. If you come up with 21, or even if it reduces down to a 3 any other way. But we look at both. So we've got 21, and that 21 is of course the world. I have it right here, the very last card in the deck. And then the 3 is the Empress. So you would apply both of these cards. And this is just the major arcana, or the higher resonance that's really going to resonate with you in the upcoming year, or it's something that you could really work with the energy of in the upcoming year. Let's go through and do each one, and I'll read off my card, and we'll see what the keyword of Wikipedia. So if you came down, now there's no Fool. That's the interesting thing. It's never going to be a 0, so the Fool doesn't come into play in this. We start up right out with number 1 of the Magician. They call it the Juggler here. This doesn't really say much, actually. It's got the Magus. I'm just going to go with mine, okay? Ambition, driven, focus, determined, Magician. Yeah, if you're in a Magician year, you're definitely in a 1 year, you're starting a new cycle, you're going to have a lot of energy, a lot of get up and go. It's focusing on you, like me, myself, and I, and it's really a year to get focused and get a lot done. If you're having a 2 year, that would be the High Priestess. And my keywords for the High Priestess are intuition, feminine, vibes, omens, feel, senses, High Priestess. Yeah, the High Priestess is the divine feminine. It's dreams, it's mysteries, it's intuition, it's working with the moon energy, even though it's not the moon card, there's a moon card, but it's working with that moon energy and the cycles of the moon. And it's a very powerful time of getting those downloads, being very intuitive, and really tapping into your divine feminine. If your card and your number was a number 3, which was this case here, We've got the Empress, so that's fertility, mother, security. Empress, beautiful, harvest. Yeah, the Empress is inner power. The Empress is also a time of babies and fertility. So if you're out there and you're trying to get pregnant, or somebody you know and they're coming into an Empress year, it's highly likely their chances would go up for conception. But it's also a time of good health. It's also a time of honoring yourself. The Empress honors herself. She sits in her power and she attracts to her the things that she needs. If you are number 4, you are the Emperor year, a year of taking charge, taking control of your life, being the boss, getting things done. The key words are authority, patriarch, seasoned, virtuoso, and clout. Yeah, having a lot of clout, but also having that, stepping in a little bit to that wise elder. You're seasoned. You're not a novice. You're in the throne. He also sits on a throne. You're running the show. If you are at a number 5, right? Yeah, the Hierophant. This is a year of joining up with groups, considering your tribe, what you belong with, maybe moving from tribe to a different tribe, maybe getting involved in the 3D reality, the matrix, in a real tangible way in the group, the hive mind of the constructs, So conventional, structure, group, clan, institutions. Yeah, it rules over institutions. Okay. The Lovers. So if you're in a 6 year, you are in the Lovers. So 6, I should be writing this all on the screen here, huh? Let's clear this out. Then we know exactly, in case you just happen to bop in and you're not finding it. Let's just back that up and clear it all up. So if you're in the 6 year, you are in the Lovers. So it's all about relationships, loving yourself, relationships. I will use the Lover in this context. Lovers, I would use the Lovers even beyond romantic love. Just being in love with life, in love with, people, having a lot of love in your life. I'm hearing, put a little love in your heart. Okay, with 7 is the Chariot, which of course we already went over. And now we're going to go on to 8, which is the Chariot. Or Strength, excuse me. I was talking about the Chariot. I'm going to put these back, I suppose, in order. Strength. Okay, the Strength card is about patience, taking your time. It could also have to do with things coming up in the time of Leo when you look at it in this context. And the 8th month of Leo could be very key to people who have this card for their year card. Patience, fortitude, calm, tolerance, strength, humility. It's also about foundations. I find that the Strength card is very much about foundations and putting things in the 3D reality, getting it setting a foundation. 8, because it's 8, it's associated with Saturn. There is somewhat of a karmic element that can be associated with the Strength card. Okay, if you are a number 9, then you are going to be the Hermit. So the Hermit is what it says, basically. It's kind of staying inside. Not staying inside necessarily, but it's kind of stepping back from life, maybe being a little bit of a hermit. It's a card of reflection for sure, and it's also a card of seeing things from the higher dimension, the higher perspective. When you find yourself getting tangled up in, drama or whatever you want to call it, the Hermit is the energy where you step back and look at it from the place of your higher self, from the detached view of the observer. It can be. Withdraw, reflection, wisdom, advice, counsel, repose, Hermit. Yeah, it could also be seeking out wise advice or counsel. I did forget to mention that. I should be trying to do this a little neater, huh? And then we have 10, Wheel of Fortune. Wheel of Fortune years are really good years. These are the years where your fate takes a hand, destiny takes a hand. It could be luck, it could be good fortune. Don't fight changes when the wheel is your year, because chances are there's going to be some changes. You can't, because you can fight it, but you can't stop it. The wheel will always be turning, the wheel of life. It's destiny, windfall, fate, risk, fortuna too. I always like that fortune, but I always like the term fortuna, because it's like the goddess of fate is smiling upon you, and there's going to be synchronicities at every turn. Okay, let's go. Next one is Justice. Okay, justice, a lot of times it's going to be a year of legal matters and things along this line. But it's also karmatic justice, big time. I can't... The justice card is karmatic justice, big time. So ending of karmic cycles. It can be, I'm getting, it can be this, what goes around comes around. Like, it's not for you to decide, but they're going to get their comeuppance is the word that wants to come out. Comeuppance. That's not one of my words. Justice. So we've got retribution, decree, fair, deed, law, reckoning, contracts. Yeah, so you could be important contracts, legal things, dealings with legal things. But again, it's a major arcana, so we're looking at deeper things than just that. Okay, next we have, if you are a number 12 year, then you are the Hangman. So Hangman is pause and reflection. Hangman is very much a highly spiritual card. He is not being strangled. He's not being killed or murdered. He's there by himself because he wants to be, because he's seeking enlightenment. He's getting the downloads. He's getting the information from spirit. He's learning new languages, new ways of communicating. This is how the alphabet came about, from Odin and the tree of life, and the written alphabet and everything. Let's read here. Pause, Hangman, clarity, Bodhi, lull, suspend. Yeah, so it's a year of, kind of a year of reflection, but a year of enlightenment too. Okay, now let's go on to card number 13, which is death. Death rarely means an actual death. It almost always means just some kind of a big change. But a big change is in store. And if you do the 13, now we're getting into the cards too. So if you're doing 13, you want to look at 4 of the Emperor. So this can be, well, is the big change going to occur like this? Is the boss going to change? Are you going to become the boss? Are you going to step down as the boss? It could have this tie into the Emperor as well. So this is transformation, release, done, change, death. And backing up, I know I forgot to mention it, but also that would be the Hangman goes with the Empress, so it's coming into your healing. And then 11 of the Justice also goes with the High Priestess. Okay, so let's go and continue on through the cards here. Okay, so 14, which is Temperance. This is working with your spirit guides, finding balance, co-creating with the universe, telling the universe what you want and giving it a chance to respond and put things together that'll come into your life circumstances that are for your highest good, or maybe for, just learning whatever. Because it lines up with the, is it going to line up with the 5, right? Yeah, so the 5 is, I'm back to this again. 5 is the Hierophant again. So getting involved with new groups, because this is 16, or 14, it would reduce down to a 5. See, both of these cards come into play. But the words on here are balance, moderation, cohere, alchemy, merge. So when I held that up and said merge, I mean merger. Some of you, may be involved in some kind of big company here, involved in some kind of merger or something along those lines. There's going to be different for everybody, but it's fun to kind of try to put them together, right? Okay, so next we're going to have the Devil. It's 15, the Devil. And so that's going to go with the Lovers too. That goes with the Lovers. So Devil is all about being in bondage. Devil is all about, it can be addiction, but it's interesting to note that there's naked people on both of these cards, because you reduce that Devil down to, let's do it this way, to its lower form into a 6, and it's the Lovers. So it's interesting to note that there's actually naked people on both sides of it. These naked people, however, are chained. They're in bondage. They're not there of their own volition or their own free will. So sometimes when this card comes up, and it's this kind of a year, you may be reassessing these relationships. Do I feel in bondage? Am I feeling bogged down in this relationship? Are we both? How can we be free, maybe together, or maybe go our separate ways? How can we fall in love again? Okay, so bondage, hedonism, lust, carnal, addiction. It can be addictions too, yeah. All right, so after that, our next card, trying to back this thing up, is going to be the Tower. So 16 is the Tower. Tower is a big change year. It's a big turnabout. It's a big change year. It's going to reduce down to the 7, which is the Chariot, which is beautiful. I love that those two are falling together like this. They fall together like this because the Chariot, which was our first card that we did, is rising up from the ashes. So after all, and this is, you know, this is our card for the collective, is the 7. So after all the upheaval over the past few years and everything, we're the Phoenix rising up into the new reality, into the new beginning. But it can be a big upheaval year if it is the Tower year for you. Disaster, upheaval, catalyst, ruin, chaos, Tower. Yeah. Well, after the Tower, then the next one that comes is Star, right? Yeah, because Star follows the Tower so beautifully. Just everything's cleared out. Here comes the new life. We're watering the new buds. The new forest is growing up out of the old, you know, burnt out whatever was there before. And it pairs up with Justice. No, Justice is 11. I'm sorry. They're calling Justice, they're calling it Strength. I shouldn't put this Wikipedia thing away because it's really not helping much. But it comes up with the Strength card, and I like that too. 17 reduces down to an 8, and that's the Strength card. So after all the craziness of the Tower, I didn't write it on here, we're doing 17 Star, I don't think you can really see it. After all the craziness of the Tower, I can't do this. New life is coming through, and it's growing in good, strong, deep soil. We're establishing new foundations. Because that's, if you're on this year, then last year was your Tower. You know, it keeps going, it's progressing every year. Except for on leap year, I think that throws it off somehow. But Star's beautiful spiritual blessings, really being tuned in, really being in sync with your higher self, really being, you know, inspired. The words are radiant, inspiration, holy, divine, and ethereal. And it's like it's watering the plants for the new life and the new growth to come forth after that. Okay, after the Star we have the Moon, and that's the card of the intuition. What is 9? Is it going to tell me the right 9, or is it going to tell me the wrong card? That was the only reason that I opened this up, was to get the numbers off of it, the 9. Yeah, so that's going to be the Hermit. Well, the Moon and the Hermit, I mean, they do go hand in hand, don't they? Both are cards of inner work. Both are cards of reflection, standing back, being in a dream. The Moon can absolutely be in a dream, but it's like working with the subconscious mind and the higher self. The Moon can be the dream. The Moon can be escapism. So if you're in a Moon year, well, check yourself. If you're partying a little too much, want to dial that back. Here's the words, though. Dreams, emotions, ruse, haze, escapism, so unconscious. Yeah, so it's not a real active year. It's a year of going within and getting those downloads and working with your emotions and your personal. It's like doing your personal soul work. Okay, and then 19 is the Sun, which is going to reduce down to not only the 10 of the Wheel of Fortune, but then it's going to even reduce down even more to the 1 of the Magician. So 10, if Sun is if you come to a 19, all 3 of these are going to play into your year, and it's going to be a very powerful year because we start with this 1. It's a new cycle. The Wheel of Fortune is a new cycle. The Magician is initiating a new cycle. That's number 1. And the Sun is like you're just going to shine, like you're riding on that high part of that Wheel of Fortune, and you're really shining out, and you're really exuding, you know, positive vibes. And it could be a year of a lot of happiness and fun too if you got a Sun year. Okay, brilliance, rhapsody, creativity, it could be too. Shine, Sun. Okay, that just says Sun. Oh, Chi, that's Chi and Sun. I don't even know what my own cards say. Happiness. Okay. All right, so then the next one is going to be a 3, 4, 3. No, it's actually not. It's 20, which only goes down to the 2 of the High Priestess. So completing karmic cycles, when you get in this judgment year, number 20 would be the judgment year. When you're in this cycle, you know, you're completing a karmic lesson, you're moving on to the next phase. Often these coincide with nodal returns or even Saturn returns. Well, you know, you'll see that a lot of times nodal returns, because nodal cycle's about a 19-year cycle, and this is the card 20, so you might as well just say 20, you know, about a 20-year span. And so this is aligning with your true soul's calling. This is working with not only this timeline, but all your past lives. I mean, it's deep. It's deep and it's powerful. Ascension, completion, judgment, zenith. And it's, you know, to be tuned into it and not just go through it blindly and miss the whole boat, you know. You got to be a little aware. You got to be a little tuned into that, you know, to what's going on. What's going on? And then finally the world, which also only reduces down to 1. So there's only one. The sun is the only card that came up with 3. But anyway, so we have the world, number 21, and it reduces down to the 3 is the Empress. And it's so interesting because at one point for a lot, I was getting this like the birth canal, the baby coming out of the birth canal. And that could absolutely be this, the pregnancy, the abundance that, you know, the seed that's growing. It coming out into the world, it's bearing fruit, it, you know, being out there and expressing itself in bigger, better ways. You could do a lot of traveling if you're in a world year, but it could be a card of big success and a lot of choices, a lot of options. Arrival, you know, really good year. Arrival, surpass, opus, vast, attainment. Okay, so I thought I'd make this video. It's kind of a fun little exercise to do, and you can even look into these. You don't have to just limit to what I was just saying with these explanations. If you want to, you've got your card and you want to just, you may even want to, you know, hang a picture of it or keep it on your phone or whatever, just as a reminder throughout the year. But definitely dive into some other, you know, check out other websites and stuff for more definitions and really dive into it and come up with, work with the energy of your major arcana for the year to create, you know, good things in your life and have a good year. Okay, all right, so kind of fun thing. I thought we might try it out again. Hope everybody's having a new year, and we'll be back again soon with some astrology and tarot readings. Bye.